clearly we're not spinning through space at however many stupid miles an hour. Where do you think we're actually living?
Well, we're living in a massive torus field. Simple. Everything is torus fields. There's no other form.
Okay, so I've seen some of your work on that. How can you explain that?
How do you explain to people? Well, I would say read the ancient Greeks and Babylonians in particular, those two, and read how they explain that the Earth's torus field solar system universe is suspended in water, air, they don't know. It's not space, but it's water or air. They were arguing for centuries, the Greeks. What is the Earth suspended in? Is it water, as Solon and all the really ancient Greek, like Hesiod, said it was, or the new guys like Anaximedes and all of these other sort of more towards Plato and Pythagoras era, they were saying it's air. So, I mean, gravity, as they teach it, is hocus pocus. But things do suspend, so it's absolutely fucking ridiculously ludicrous that people can't understand the density of the medium. If I'm in water, I'm going to float and I'm going to move slowly because it's a thicker medium. It's denser than air. In air, I can do this. I can move, I can eat, I can sleep, I can run, breathe, and live. So I'm heavier than the air, duh. Well, then I'm going to go down and stick to the Earth. It's density and buoyancy, density and buoyancy. If you're going to use gravitation, I don't mind the word gravity. It exists. The word exists. But the theory of Isaac Newton, well, that's a theory.
Exactly.
And if we take that seriously like a fact, then we are a fucking idiot. I'm sorry to use that beautiful French word. So can I
ask you a couple of relative questions? How far away do you think the sun is?
It ranges between 100 miles and 3,000 miles. That's very, very, I guess you could say vague, but no one knows. Because how high is a rainbow? Well,
if it was 100 miles away, would you not be able to triangulate it in some way from the Earth?
Well, you can, but not to the very, millimeter or mile. You can't, right. Because what you're triangulating is not physically there.
Okay.
It's like the rainbow. You can't triangulate. Has anyone ever triangulated a rainbow?
Yeah, no, clearly not. Yeah. Because
you can't, because it's not there. You're seeing it, but it's not there, right? So the sun is the same. It's a condensed rainbow in a round, not spherical, in a round shape, because that is how it appears to our eyes. But it's not round. It's hexagonal, and it is a portal. It's not a thing. It's a portal. A portal is a door. A doorway. Is a doorway a thing? Can you grab a doorway and put it in your pocket and save it for later? No, because it's the doorway. The surrounding of the doorway is there, but what you walk through is just a place that you walk through. You can't reify it because it's not physically there. It's, if you know what I mean. It's not something that you can make something out of. Use the parts to make something else with, etc. I mean, you get the idea.
I get the idea. With the moon, it seems to me that it's self-illuminating, because you can often see the sun and the moon in the sky at the same time in the daytime, and it's like there's nothing in the way. You'd think, therefore, that the sun, if it were lighting up the moon, you'd see a full moon at those times. It wouldn't go from crescent moon through to full and back again. Which makes me think, well, if you don't see a full moon all the time, when you see both luminaries in the sky at the same time, then surely the moon must self-illuminate.
Everything is self-illuminating. Every atom, every sun, moon, star, planet, whatever you know, whatever your vocabulary potential is, all those words you've got in your head of items that you've seen and named and identified are all self-luminous. The moon acts more like it is concave than convex. So when you see that crescent on the inside there and then you see nothing, you don't see any rock. I mean...
yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, well, it has a little bit of concavity to it. And so what happens is the part that is lighting up, that crescent, that's the outer part of the... What your eye sees is the atoms I don't know what kind of atoms they would be. There'd be carbon. It's plasma. The moon is plasma. But what elements are in that? I don't know. I suppose copper or iron, stuff like that. But what you're seeing is the part on the inside of the concave moon that is lighting up. You're seeing like this part here, and then it grows as the sun's angle causes. They say, the ancients, that the sun causes the moon to illuminate. It's because of the sun, and only the sun, that we can see the moon's luminosity. Otherwise, we wouldn't see it. Like, we don't see... There are other planets out there that we can't see because the luminosity is not of the frequency that our eye can capture.
And how far away do you think the moon and the other luminaries are? Well,
the moon is in our... under the firmament, which is, I would say, the outer wall of our atmosphere, which has 7 spheres in it. We have a thermosphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere, ozone layer, and, well, atmosphere. But there are 7 of these spheres, and they are spheres because they are surrounding the Earth spherically, and like Russian nested dolls, they protect the Earth, and then the outer firmament is the major protection field around the Earth. And the Earth is the plane of inertia, planet of inertia, in the middle of the torus field. It's a massive, massive creation. It's one of the most marvelous of all the creations of the Creator. The Earth was made to be firm, terra firma, and stable for eternity. It's the dark, the underground music scene. Think of the death metal crowd. I mean, I haven't met many death metal people, but I don't know what I'd talk about. I'd be like, so you listen to that shit, do you? And you call it music? I don't. I call it a bunch of crap. So, but they've got their own egregore controlling their thoughts. They don't have any original thoughts.
They've also found probably a frequency of anger, of disappointment, of frustration in the music, and they're resonating with those frequencies, because they don't know, they're lost, maybe they haven't.
Yeah, because their evolution is so low. They think they're actually high because they've got that music and it's rebellious, and they're cool because they're not like the sheeple, but they're another kind of sheeple and more stupid than the sheeple that they condemn because they think they're so intelligent because they're listening to thrash metal and death metal and music that sounds like a bunch of apes taking a shit. Boy, that was a big poo. And they listen to that music. They listen to guys going, what kind of baboons are these people? Fucking freaks. But they're there, and they live their lifestyle. They're angry, they're debauched, they're reprobates, they're degenerates, and they're in our midst.
Yeah, that's right. So, we've wiped out most of the population. How optimistic are you that things are going to end up rather well, and what do you think the time frame is? I mean, I can see some really quite good outcomes from everything. Actually. On one level, there's only one thing wrong, which is psychopaths running the place. And there aren't that many of them. Every country's got a mountain of servants, civil servants, who've just forgotten the definition of the word servant.
Well, actually, interesting that you should say servant, because they're not servants.
They're oppressors. They've taken over.
Well, see, they're officers and ministers. It's been changed. We used to have servants. We used to have police service. Now we have police officers and the Ministry of Police. So the ecclesiastical Roman Vatican Holy Curia, Holy See, Roman Curia, Holy See, Club of Rome has taken over all the services, the de jure constitutional services, and turned them into offices. An office is ecclesiastical, and ministries, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Foreign Diplomacy, whatever. They're all ministries, because the Vatican with Unidroit have taken over the world, and they are the New World Order, and they are the oppressors.
Yes, and what's going to be done about that? Is there an answer to that?
Well, we're doing it now. We're doing it by our awakening, brother.
Yes. I saw the Pope speak once at the Vatican, and he comes out on the balcony. So I was really quite young, and I was super shocked. It was quite crowded. The whole sort of circle was pretty much filled up, mainly with nuns. And I'm not exaggerating, they were having orgasms.
Yeah.
They were in ecstasy listening to him. It was quite bizarre. I was quite taken aback. It wasn't what I was expecting at all.
Well, because it was demons, perverted demons, causing them to have what they think is a transcendental, holy experience. But the nuns are just being demonized, and the demons are perverts, so they will stimulate the sexuality of the individual rather than the spirituality. They are two different worlds, two different bodies, and they should not be mixed.
So, how can people overcome the hypnosis that's being given to them? I mean, they're not going to. They're getting hypnotized every news broadcast, and I mean, the people who are in the mainstream, watching the mainstream media, are totally brainwashed, aren't they? Mind control, is another word. I mean, can you see a way out of that to get people out of that?
Yeah, the corporate media outlets, they're going to be shut down. The people are just going to shut them down.
Yeah.
They will be removed, and all of these reporters and presenters, they're not news anymore. They are entertainment.
Well, they're bought and paid for. Most companies these days, I mean, they're the primary advertiser. It used to be the pharmaceutical industry, and now it's governments for newspapers. And presumably the media is 100% propaganda. But yeah, just like they used to storm the TV stations in the old revolutionary movies, taking over the media is probably the only way.
Yeah, we'll do it. That's coming. It's the writing's on the wall. It's only a matter of time. There's no way they can continue spewing out lies. No one believes them. No one really listens to them that has a shred of intelligence. We're talking about really stupid, dumb, moronic people that actually believe anything that Channel 9 and Channel 10 and Channel 7 and CBS and whatever are telling them. Only the stupidest of the stupid are actually watching those channels. Rest assured.
Yes, it's unfortunate there's so many of them. So, where are you in the world right now?
I'm in Quintana Roo, Mexico.
Oh, right, nice. And you're going up to Acapulco?
Sorry?
You're going up to go to Acapulco?
No, that's on the other side. It's too far for me.
I like Mexico. What's it been like for you?
Mexico's been great for me. Great. I've had a few bad things happen, but in all, this is the place where I want to be. I'll stay here forever. I'm not going away from Mexico. It's just too good. Mexico's just too good.
I bet somebody told me a funny thing the other day. They said, well, which would you prefer? A government run by a criminal cartel, like most governments are, or a government run by a drug cartel? And the difference is that at least a government run by a drug cartel doesn't force you to take their drugs.
That's right. Yeah, the cartel here is keeping the government in check, which is giving the people a certain amount of freedom, which they don't really realize they've got. Mexicans are very obedient, and they're all going around with their masks on and not questioning things. But in the back of their mind, they know there's something wrong with it. They just don't want to cause trouble. They really don't want confrontation. They just want to live free. They just want to live their lives, do their work, and be happy. That's all they want. They're not complicated people. They're very simple, very simple. Everything in Mexico is nice. It's like Australia. It's got deserts, it's got mountains, it's got snow, it's got beaches. It's, to me, the countryside is reminiscent of back home, but the culture is way deeply ingrained and still intact. The indigenous people, they still know all their languages and rituals and ceremonies, and they still practice them. So it's a blessing to be here in Mexico. Mexico is one of the three most spiritual and advanced nations in the world from ancient times. Like Egypt, India, and Mexico, for me, are the meccas. They're not spread out. They're not losing their tradition. Some are being decimated, but the Mayans here, for instance, they're all community minded. They're all very together people.
And from the little I saw from a health perspective, there still seemed to be a certain respect in some places for sort of the herbal traditions and so on. Have you seen a lot of stuff here and there?
Yeah. They know all their herbs. They know all their homeopathic treatments. Oh yeah, they are right on all of that. They have not lost any knowledge.
Perhaps at another time we could talk about some things that people could do health-wise, because there are ways. In the last year, I've had all sorts of people who have come off addictive substances of all types really easily, including medications, where normally they might suffer for a month or something if they want to stop.
That'll be
a number of things like that I can talk about, which people sort of need to know.
That'll be a great conversation. I'll be in that. I've got a lot of good information.
Cool.